Talking money, when it comes to your personal finances, do you live on a budget? You know, recent surveys and a lot of surveys are finding that more and more people are living paycheck to paycheck, and it can cause a bad situation. People don't know how bad their finances can be. We're going to talk about how to make them better this morning. Kip Cowan, did I call you Kip? Skip Cowan, a personal finance specialist, is here to talk about more. Good morning, Skip. It's good to see you.
I'll answer to darn near anything. Nice to see you as well.
Let's talk about this. It's a survey from Bankrate.com. It says
Right.
75% of people, 3 out of 4, are living paycheck to paycheck.
Sure.
How bad is that?
Well, I don't know that that's all that bad. It's just a
Okay.
matter of whether or not that you're managing your finances properly. Well, what you don't want to do is put yourself in a situation where you're about to fall off the cliff.
Yeah, because I imagine if you're living paycheck to paycheck, then for some reason you don't get a paycheck or an emergency comes up, you're in some trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And this Bankrate.com survey actually also found out that people say they live on a budget. They actually don't.
I'm guilty of that
Well,
myself.
most of us are.
Yeah.
Budgets have to be a little flexible, I think.
Sure.
But the key really is to figure out whether or not your particular financial situation has you on the precipice. So there's some signs that you should
Okay,
look for.
so what should we look for?
Well, number one, do you pay your bills on time? I mean, every time.
Gotcha.
Because if you don't, as you know, late fees add up, man. And when
Oh, yeah, they do.
and the next thing you know, you got yourself a debt hole that is very difficult to crawl out of.
Okay.
So if you find yourself paying your mortgage late, paying your credit card bills late consistently, make a change. Take a look at it. Figure out how to adjust my cash flow so I can make these payments on time.
Okay, never mind what it does to your credit report. You talk about no new lines of credit. Don't start opening new credit cards or taking out a loan, right?
Right, because the temptation is to maintain my lifestyle. All of us want to do that. I understand that. But sometimes you got to take a look at it and say, you know, I've overextended. Man, instead of opening up a line of credit, let's cut up a credit card instead.
Yeah, that's good advice. Good advice. What else do you say? What are some other signs? What should people
Well,
do?
one of the things you got to look at is whether or not you're using MasterCard to pay Visa.
As my mom would say, robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Well, exactly. And if you've done that, you are in a heap of trouble, man, because that's just going to lead to more and more debt problems. The next thing you know, your minimum payments are so huge, just meeting that is an obligation you can't even face.
Okay. And one more tip from you, I think?
One more tip, I think, is you got to have a cash reserve.
Sure.
Life happens. Tires
Yeah.
go bad, water heaters blow up.
Yep.
What are you going to do, right?
Yep.
If you don't have $500 in the bank, could be a disaster. So to start that, just start saving loose change, a couple of bucks a day, it adds up.
It adds up very quickly. You also say get your free credit report every year. The government allows you to get one copy each year from each of the 3 credit bureaus.
Correct. So if you stagger it right, you can get 3 a year.
Right.
Annualcreditreport.com is where you go. It's really easy to access.
Yep, I do it.
It won't give you your credit score.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you can pay $4 or $5 to get that, but you know it's not that relevant. Truthfully,
No. You can see your credit report. You can see how many times you paid your bills, and you can see if anyone's hacked into your information or see if things don't add up.
Exactly. Quick tip: if you don't understand what you're looking at, because a lot of people don't on a credit report, go to your banker, sit down with the banker, and say, "Hey, take a look at this for me." Most of those guys understand it very well.
Okay, Skip Cowan, great advice. Good to see you. Come
to
back
see you.
soon.
Thank
You're
you.
very good with financial advice. To learn more about Skip and how you can improve your financial woes, head to our website, casa.com. Click on the Casa blog.